Welcome to Gurukul Lectures. In the ongoing series of outcome-based education, today we will be talking more on accreditation part. Now, with more than 50,000 institutions, higher education in India is flourishing its wings in the 21st century, with carrying an aim to provide quality education. Indian higher education system has introduced new strategies, plan and policies to improve the standard in the functioning of the higher education. An autonomous institution established in the year 1994, that is NAAC, has changed the format of A&A, that is assessment and accreditation, with the introduction of revised accreditation framework in July 2019 and paid attention on the quality culture. NAAC is promoting the establishment of IQAC and best practices, that is internal quality assurance cells. The higher education have established about more than 7,000 higher education institutes, and the series of activities are initiated and done by HEIs. The NAAC process is based on the global quality assurance practices and the norms as well as the good practices, that is the guidelines of APQN, that is the Asia Pacific Quality Network, and International Network for Quality Assurance Agencies in the Higher Education, that is INQAAHE. All these activities, they are in pursuance of an attempt to widen the scope and capacities of the higher educational institutions in the era of privatization, globalization and liberalization. It has considered the loopholes in the area of accreditation and assessment process. The revised accreditation framework would bring about 1. Transparency, 2. Objectivity, and 3. The simplicity in the process. The revised accreditation framework, that is RAF, is a living document availed by NAAC for the objective assessment of higher education institutes. Now, what is the basic feature of accreditation under the RAF scheme? The first is, the institution must have at least 2 batches of graduate students. 2. The age of the institution must be 6 years or above. Number 3. The NAAC eligibility criteria for central, state, private and deemed to be universities. The universities are available and eligible for NAAC accreditation under the following parameters. 1. The university and its off-campuses must be recognized and approved by MHRD or UGC. Sufficient number of student enrollment in full-time and research programs are there. University and its campus must be located within the country. There is an important thing which has to be mentioned here. The NAAC will not undertake the accreditation of the offshore campus. Eligibility criteria for the constituent and affiliated institutions and the autonomous institutions are as follows. The college must be affiliated to the university recognized by University Grant Commission, and the constituent colleges of a private and a deemed to be universities are considered as the constituent units of the university and thus will not be considered for NAAC accreditation and assessment process. The programs which are offered at the college must be recognized by the statutory, professional, regulatory councils and by Association of Indian Universities, that is AIU. All these parameters, what we are talking about, they are of prime importance because overall the scenario, the dynamism, the changes which are taking place across the globe are very much important for the accreditation and assessment, and there is a strong need to uphold and increase and augment the quality culture of various higher education institutions. Although there are lot of efforts which have been done by Government of India and other accredited institutions who are responsible for increasing and upgrading the quality culture in India. So NAAC has done a commendable job, and the basic role of NAAC is to increase the vision, mission and the other parameters of increasing the quality standards in the higher education institutes in India, so that we are at par at the global level. So the NAAC accreditation 2021, that is, we have to apply online, processes, documentations, eligibility criteria, all these are very much important for the outcome based education and to achieve the global standards of any higher education institute. Now I will be talking about NAAC criteria and the weightages. All the three types of institutions are graded and ranked using the 7 criteria and 34 key indicators for autonomous and university, and for constituent and affiliated colleges it is 31, which are having only the university undergraduate courses, and if your college has a PG course, then the basic key indicators are 32. So basically we will be talking on the various parameters and the KIs, that is the key indicators, at length. Each key indicator has a certain value and the weightage and is different for the different types of institutions. The institutions seeking the accreditation need to attain the value number to get certified and to get ranked. NAAC is emphasizing on the ERP software as one of the criteria, that is the enterprise resource planning. So we are talking about now 7 key indicators, criteria and the various weightages for the various categories of the institutes which we are talking about, that is the university, autonomous colleges and affiliated or constituent colleges. So let us talk about criteria number 1. Let us have a look on the slide. This is criteria number 1, that is the curriculum aspects. The total weightage for university is 150 marks, followed by the autonomous colleges, which is also 150, and for any constituent and affiliated college it is 100. So the curriculum aspects will be discussed at length in the coming series of accreditation and outcome based education. Now we will be talking on criteria number 2, that is teaching, learning and evaluation. When you talk about university, the total marks and the weightage is 200 marks, followed by autonomous, which is 300, and about constituent and other colleges, that is the constituent and affiliated colleges, it is about 350 marks. Now we talk about the research, innovation and extension. For university it is 250, followed by 150 for autonomous and 120 for constituent colleges. Now we are moving on to criteria number 4, infrastructure and learning resources. It is about 100 for university, and for constituent and autonomous also it is 100. We move on to criteria number 5, which is the most pertinent part, which is a student support and progression. Because when you talk about the present realm and the present higher education system, it is student centric and outcome based learning is in the focal and the nucleus point. So it is about 100 points for autonomous and university, and about 130 for the constituent colleges. Criteria number 6 talks about the governance, leadership and management. It is 100 for all the 3 categories and the graded institutions which are graded for the NAAC A and A process, that is 100 for university, 100 for autonomous and 100 for constituent and affiliated colleges. Moving on to criteria number 7, that is the institutional values and best practices. It is about 100 weightage for all the 3 categories which have been defined under A and A process of NAAC. Now there are some key features which needs a special mention under the RAF framework, which was launched in July 2017. There was a paradigm shift from the qualitative to the data-based quantitative indicators, evaluation, peer judgment with increased objectivity and transparency. Since the day the NAAC was formed and till date, there are so many revisions, upgradations, augmentations, deletions of certain parameters of assessment and accreditation process. Each revision is a step towards benchmarking and increasing the quality standards of higher education in India, which is a commendable effort by NAC. It propagates a mechanism of ICT-enabled, objective, transparent, scalable and robust in the assessment. So as we have seen the particular points, number one, it is ICT-enabled. That is, the human intervention is less and more of information and communication technologies are under play, followed by objectivity. That is, the subjectivity has no place in the present A&A process, which has been initiated by NAC. So, objectivity is the key feature of RAF and NAC A&A process, followed by transparent. That is, there are no closures of the facts. Everything is in the public domain. It is scalable and robust in the assessment. So, these are commendable and applaudable initiations which are done by NAC. In terms of simplification of the process, there has been a drastic reduction in the number of the questions, the size of the report, the number of the visit days and so on. It represents an explicit paradigm shift, making it ICT enabled, objective, transparent, scalable and robust. So let us talk about the shift in more detail. There has been a paradigm shift from qualitative to quantitative parameters and from qualitative peer judgment to data-based quantitative indicator evaluation with increased objectivity and transparency. So there are certain parameters, number one, quantitative, number two, qualitative. So the quantitative parameters are validated by the data validation department, that is DVV. The second type of parameter, which we call it as quality parameters, that is QL indicator, it is verified by the peer team judgment. So there are about 500 words in which the qualitative parameters have to be written by the higher education institutes. So when there is a peer team visit, they validate, verify those qualitative parameters on the peer team visit to that higher education institute. So in this particular point, there has been a paradigm shift from qualitative to from the quantitative to the qualitative parameters, and a lot of objectivity and transparency has been augmented into the system. Now towards the extensive use of ICT, confirming the scalability and robustness. Whenever there is an extensive use of ICT, these are the two pillars of ICT, that is, it augments the scalability of the data followed by robustness of the data. So all these parameters and the system makes the whole transparent system, objective system, which is the need of today, and it helps in achieving the quality standards and the benchmarking for the institutions. So let us move forward with the further concepts. In terms of simplification of the process, there has been a drastic reduction in the number of the questions to be asked in the A&A process, followed by the size of the report, which has been substantially decreased. The visit days have also been decreased, and in terms of boosting the benchmarking as the quality improvement tool, there has been an attempted through a comparison of NAC indicators with other international quality assessment frameworks. Now there has been a very important development. The pre-qualifier has been introduced. So let us discuss this at length. Introducing the pre-qualifier for the peer team visit, 30% of the system generated score, that is introducing the SGS, that is system generated score. This means what? The score of 30%, which is a pre-qualifier for the NAAC assessment and accreditation process, after you input the data, the system will generate the report whether you qualify for the peer team visit or not. So that means you need to have about out of 1000, 30% of the marks, so that it gives you a pre-qualification that you can enter the system of A&A process. So there is no human intervention, everything is system generated, and the short form of the system generated score is called as SGS in terms of the quality standards and other framework process. This is a combination of an online evaluation and the peer team judgment. Whatever data the higher education institutes input, 70% of the marks is on the basis of the quantitative data, that is DVV department validates that, followed by 30% has been, they have been assigned a job, that is the peer team visit has been assigned a job to evaluate only the 30% system. This kind of a shift of 70-30 assessment is there to bring objectivity, transparency and less room for subjectivity and the judgment. So this is definitely, the introducing the element of third party validation of the data. Now, in providing the appropriate differences in the matrices and the weightages and the benchmarking to the universities, autonomous colleges and affiliated constituent colleges, in revising several metrics to bring in enhanced participation of the students and alumni in the assessment process. Let us see some of the new schemes which has been launched. 1. Health Science University. 2. Health Science Colleges, that is the medical, dental, pharmacy, nursing, Ayurveda, yoga, naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, homeopathy, physiotherapy and allied health services. There has been opening of the open distance learning, that is ODL, the Sanskrit University, the teacher education and dual mode university. There has been a revised manual, and this is a very persistent and a constant endeavor of NAAC, that it keeps revising. Under the pandemic situation also, there are constant revisions and a constant heartfelt sincere efforts done by the accreditation institution called NAAC for all the different type of categories for which they come out with the manuals. So the revised manuals are there in place, 1 for the university, 2 for autonomous institutions, 3 for affiliated colleges which have postgraduate courses, and the last is affiliated colleges with the only undergraduate programs. So let us see the preparation before, during and after the accreditation and assessment process. It is a step towards outcome based education, a step towards benchmarking, a step towards increasing the quality standards. So let us see these steps. Number 1, institution information for quality assessment, that is IIQA. Before the initiation of the concept called IIQA, there are 2 factors which were there in the previous types of assessment, which we used to call it as a letter of intent. But now, whatever information the institution has to give it to NAAC, it is through IIQA. So this institution information for quality assessment is primarily the first step. Number 2 is you have to submit your self-study report, that is according to the matric data and the optional matric selection by the higher education institute. After the data has been inputted, there is a data validation and verification, that is the DVV. There is a pre-qualification, that is the 30% assessment before the peer team visits. So if you qualify the pre-qualification assessment, that is 30%, there is a peer team visit, otherwise the whole system is rejected. And then we have the assessment outcomes, which are very, very important for any kind of a higher education institute. So let us see this process in detail. It will be very beneficial for all the higher education institutes which are dreaming of becoming accredited, to which are into their various cycles. So coming few sessions which will be depending on all these parameters will be very useful for the institutes which are going for the accreditation process, whether it is cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3 and so on and so forth. So let us see the registration process of NAAC in detail. The first is, you have to open the website, that is www.naac.gov.in. You have to create a login for the higher education institutes with the institutional ID and the email, and click the new registration for accreditation, for assessment and accreditation, mentioning the institutional detail like the name, institution type, MHRD, AISHE, that is All India Survey on Higher Education ID, institutional ID and the mobile number. These are the basic details which is mandatory for any type of higher education institutes to put into that. The third point is that you have to have a new registration ID which is applicable for those institutions which are not accredited so far, and for the rest of it the login only and the email ID is entered twice to reconfirm the ID, so as to make it very sure, and this is very important, as only the official and institutional ID should be used, provided the private ID is not acceptable. So this is the most important step which the higher education institutes have to undertake, the responsibility to create the institutional ID for their HEIs and for all the employees, whether it is a teaching staff, non-teaching staff and the students. Everyone should have the institutional ID. Now the next is, you must have the registration. Doesn't mean that institution is eligible for accreditation and assessment. As we have understood that first we have to open the account on the NAAC, open your account registration details, get yourself registered with the official ID. Once you are registered, it doesn't mean that you are eligible. It is just to start the process. And in the registration process, the name of the university, the affiliation of the university, the certificate and the All India Survey on Higher Education certificate, all these documents which are of prime importance must be uploaded during the time of the registration for the purpose of accreditation by NAAC. Now the NAAC registration process, after entering all the details and the email ID, a message is popped in saying that your profile has been created successfully. Please check your registered email to activate your account. Now after the institution official email ID, that is the registration link, is sent by NAAC admin and it needs to be clicked and activated within 7 days from the date of receipt of such message. The second step is, at the time of submission of IIQA, that is Information Institutional Quality Assurance, the institutions have to submit the documentary proof of uploading the AISHE information for the year of applicable for accreditation and assessment. Institutions are therefore advised to upload the latest information in MHRD website. All further communication on IIQA will use MHRD AISHE ID. So AISHE ID is very important. After all uploading and other formalities, a message will be popped that you have successfully created your profile and the confirmation is sent on your registered ID. Once an email is registered and checked on the institutional ID, another link is that there is an email ID. After clicking that email ID is there, which is the user ID of the institution, followed by a system generated password which can be changed after you log in into your profile window after putting the CAPIT. Till the time the complete process of accreditation is done, the institution has to be completely tied with the HEI portal, where the complete information is updated, like the notices, announcements, and other vital information. It will be updated on this portal, that is IIQA, Institutional Information on Quality Assurance. So IIQA is a source of information for the accreditation institutes and the agencies.